class, today I'm going to show you how to make a three-dimensional shape that is going to fit into your math journal. This is going to be really fun and there's a lot of little directions. So we're going to look through the video and watch the video, and then we're going to make our own three-dimensional shape to fit into your journal. We've been talking about three-dimensional shapes, or another word for that is solids. Shapes like rectangular prisms, triangular pyramids, and spheres. This today we're going to make is going to be a triangular prism. So here are a few of the things you're going to need today. I am going to be using tape because that's what I have right now, but you're going to be using glue. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, a marker, a math journal, and then a sheet of paper. The sheet of paper color doesn't matter, so whatever color you have will work just fine. We're going to start today with the sheet of paper first. With my sheet of paper, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold my sheet of paper over in half. I'm going to do a real nice crease. It makes it a lot easier when I'm cutting and looking for it if my crease is nice and sharp. When I open up my paper again, I'm going to see that I have a line down the middle. I'm going to cut my paper down that line. Now, if you are in my class, I've already done this step for you, so this is just a step that you're not going to need. You're going to see you have 2 sheets of paper left. You're only going to need one, so we're going to put one to the side, and we're going to use this sheet now. So my first step on here is I'm going to take my right corner of my sheet of paper, I'm going to fold it with a diagonal line on my paper. Again, really nice, sharp crease. It's going to make it easier when I'm looking and ready to cut. Then I'm going to take my paper and open it back up. You're going to see now you have a diagonal line going through part of your paper. Then we're going to take our left side and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to make a different diagonal line. Nice straight crease. Once I have the crease done, I'm going to open up my paper. You're going to see 2 lines that are intersecting or crossing each other. Go ahead and close that part back up again, because what we're going to do is we're going to fold the bottom part. You have a rectangle here at the bottom, and you're going to fold the rectangle up till it meets the triangle. Fold that real nice and good crease. I also like to take it and fold it back also on the same line, just so it can go back and forth. So I'm going to open up my shape and I see that I still have this X. And one thing I want you to go ahead and do before we continue is just turn your paper around. When I turn it around, I'll see the X really nice and sharp there. I'm going to put a black dot, you can use any color marker, dot in the middle where the 2 lines meet. And this is going to serve as my vertice and also a place where I'm going to stop when I'm cutting. So I'm going to cut from the right side corner. I'm going to stop at the vertice. You're only making 1 cut when we do this project. So I take my scissors, and like I said, we're going to stop at the dot. Perfect place to stop. So you now have 1 cut like this, and everything else is together on your journal, on your paper, I'm sorry. We're going to open up your journal to a clean sheet. And on your journal, this should fit perfectly if we glue or tape this to the very bottom. You don't want any of this hanging out, but you want to be able to lay flat on your journal. So I'm going to use tape. Like I said, you're going to be using glue. You're not going to need a lot of the glue or the tape because it's a really small little piece of rectangle that is going to need to be kept down. The rest of the paper does not need to be kept down. We don't want it glued down. So like I said, only on this rectangular part. I'm going to put this flat in my journal, kind of press it down, especially if you're using glue. You want to press it down real good so it stays. So here is the fun part. You have your shape here with the cut. I'm going to take one of these little triangles, because you can see now we have 4 different triangles that we can see when we have our paper flat. When I push it up like this, I have now made a triangular pyramid, and the vertices should be poking up right there. So now I'm going to add a few things to my journal so we know what we're looking at. I'm going to put a title, 3D shapes. And at the bottom for the rectangle, I'm going to use that as a place for labeling. I'm going to put the name of the shape that we just made, a triangular pyramid. And then I have my shape ready. Now there's a couple of parts that I want to label on my shape so that anytime I'm looking at a shape or I'm looking at a worksheet, something that's talking about the vocabulary for my 3-dimensional shapes, if I don't remember what it is, I can go back to this journal and to this page, and I'm going to be able to see what everything is. So I'm going to label some parts. The first part I want to label is this vertices that we already have done. So what I like to do is just do a little arrow pointing to the vertices. Remember, vertex is 1, vertices is more than 1. So I'm going to go ahead and put the vertex because it's just 1 that I'm pointing to right now. However, if you look at my triangular pyramid, there is more than 1 vertices. There's 1 here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I'm only pointing to 1. The next part I want to point to is the edges of my 3-dimensional shape. And these lines, these straight lines, are my edges. And you can see that again. We put it back up. These parts, these straight lines here, are my edges. There's also edges on the bottom. We're just not going to be able to see unless it's made into the 3D shape. So I'm going to also do another arrow that's going to point to the edges. When I do this, either this way or this way, it might cover up the word a little bit, but when you open it back up, you'll be able to see the word. And then finally, the last part of the shape I'm going to want to label is going to be the face. And the face of the 3-dimensional shape is flat parts. And if you look at it, these are the parts that are flat. So on the triangular pyramid, we have 1, 2, 3, and then also the bottom, 4 faces on the triangular pyramid. So this is how to make a 3-dimensional shape for your journal. So you can see that it closes really nice in your journal, open, close, and it doesn't take up space. But when I want to, I can open it back up and put it up here and show people my 3D shape. So I hope you have fun doing this activity. I know it can be a little tricky at first, but just keep watching the video, keep listening to your teacher's directions, and I know you'll be able to do it. See you later.